This Excel video will cover a VLookup function as well as paste special values and paste special transpose. The workbook is contrived. I made it up just for this example. Obviously your data will look different. As you can see, I have a column for state abbreviation A as well as state A, color A, and month A, and then I just repeated them again using B's, then C's, and then D's. What we're going to do here is we're going to need to change these column headings to the column headings that need to be used for the data import. So let's switch over to the mapping sheet, and these are going to be the field names that we're going to use to import the data. So these are we're going to basically change our column names to match these column names. For this example, I've sorted them because we're going to put them back in. It doesn't matter what the order is here, but I find it easier to sort them to start with. So let's go here. This is basically where I'm going to paste the columns from the other spreadsheet so that I can match them up to these columns. So let's go back to the other spreadsheet. I'm going to select my column headings. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to do a quickly paste special transpose. I'll go over it in detail later in a few moments actually, so don't worry if you miss something. That's why I'm going to go over it in detail later. I don't like the way this turned out, so I'm going to do an undo, which is a Control Z. So let's go back and do it again, and I'll do it a little slower. I'm going to press Alt, Edit, Special, and that opens up the Paste Special window. So what we need to do is we're going to select Values, because what happened before is it pasted everything. I didn't want the formats. The formats were the blue. You could left it that way if you want to, but I didn't want that. We're also going to do transpose E. So we're going to paste special just the values, and we're going to transpose. So there's our data. And if you want to back up quickly, the shortcut for all that is Alt, Edit, Special, Values, Transpose, OK. And basically there's other ways to get to paste special or or any of these things. There's always shortcuts or different shortcuts. So this is the way I did it for this example. So I want to sort this list. So what I'm going to do here, this is how I sort. I'm going to select one of the cells in the range that needs to be sorted. I'm going to select the data ribbon, and then I'm going to click on the sort icon. I'm going to check my data has headers. I'll verify that my sort by column is for import, and take these defaults and click OK. So now I have my present headings sorted. Now what I need to do is start moving the stuff over. So I'm going to copy this just to line it up with the mapped one. The mapped one is going to be the destination. And again, since this is a contrived example, I know that I need these over here, because I know our color is going to be A to 1, B is 2, and same with months. But I got to fix the states differently. In my state abbreviations, I know that's going to need to go there, and then I have the state names, and I know that has to go there. So now I have mapped what my present columns are to what my present columns need to be. So now that that's done, I'm going to use a VLookup to change the names. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select my data range and go to the it's the name box. Go to the name box, which is above column A, and I'm going to type look fields, and I'm going to press the enter key. And that created a range called look fields. If you're curious to see it someplace else, you can press Control F3, and you see it opens up the name manager, and you'll see the look fields there. So however you create names, ranges in Excel, do it. I usually find it easier to select the range and type the value in there, or not the value, the name of the field, and press enter. Now that that's done, we're going to go back to our data worksheet, and I'm going to insert 2 blank rows after the original heading. Now that I have my blank rows, I'm going to select cell A3 and type equals VLookup. Then I'm going to click on my A1 cell because I want to look up what's in there. I'm going to put comma, and where do I want to look for that? I'm going to look in my look fields range, and when I find a match, what do I want to pull back? I want to pull back the second column. The first column is the original, the second column is the match. And I need to make sure it's an exact match, so use false. You don't want to do an approximate match. And then press enter. And now I'm going to widen this column. If you notice, it found it. It said OK. If you find a state A, replace it with what was in the second column. Remember, state A has a state abbrev 001. That's what it returned. Now if for some reason you get at £NA, that means something's messed up. So I just changed this column to state AZ, and we don't have anything in our for import, so it's not going to find anything. So if you've got a £NA, something went wrong, you need to fix that. You should not have any NA if you mapped it earlier in the example. Now what you need to do is copy this formula across to the right. So basically now you have mapped the original columns to what they need to be for the import. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to convert the formulas to values, because you cannot have this information on the actual import. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to control and drag that over, makes a copy. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the cells that have the formulas in it. So I'm going to select them and do a copy, and I'm going to do alt edit special values. Okay. Hey, we learned that earlier today, right? This time we're not doing the transpose. Just remember that you're doing paste special values, and basically it converted the formulas to values. If we left the formulas in there when we delete the original headings, it would basically put errors. So now we have values here. While the values are still selected, we're going to go to the Home tab if you're not already there. For the editing, you're going to pull down Clear Formats, because actually I don't have the whole thing selected. Let's try that again. I need to have the whole range selected. Do Clear Formats. That just makes it look prettier. So now I'm going to delete those 2 rows. So now we have our data that we need to import with the heading names that need to be on there. The worksheet is now ready to be imported. If you need to have it in its own workbook, in other words, if wherever you're using to import it can't have multiple worksheets, you can right click, move or copy. You want to create a copy because I want to leave it in here just for historical purposes, and do new book. And now you have a book 1, or whatever yours may be called. It has a new single worksheet in it. It's just that one, and then you could just file save however you need to save it, and you're done.